Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marty.
MJ in the house, otherwise known as who? Don't
Tony
you?
Atlas.
You forgot again.
Tony Atlas.
He keeps forgetting who I am. You've changed, bro.
I'm trying. It's been a long decade.
You didn't change that shirt.
No, I really like it.
You like it?
I
like the one yesterday, yellow, the Bumblebee one, Killer Bee one.
I did that in honor of Brian Blair,
Did
since
you?
everyone else jobs him off here in the studio. All right, wrestling fans, you know what time it is. It's Thursday at 9. It's Wrestling Insiders. It's time to party with Marty. Stand by.
That's it. Keep rocking it.
Wrestling fans, can you feel it? The 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive Cyber Fan Fest explodes into December. We can't bring you a live wrestling event in 2020, but we're bringing you a plethora of live interviews and virtual autograph signings to continue our tradition of updating Santa's GPS to find every kid's home. This Friday night, December the 11th, we're joined by the massive Warlord in studio. This Saturday, December the 12th, Native American Tatanka joins us for the toy drive for the very first time. Then this Sunday, December the 13th, it's a doubleheader of Future Star Superstars, is the new Impact Wrestling World Champion Rich Swann joins us for the first time in studio in 8 years, along with up-and-comer Wheeler Yuta, who recently competed in the Ring of Honor Pure Title Tournament, along with competing here in Boston Wrestling MWF. John Cena Sr. will also have a live episode and is working the phone lines on the North Pole to try and make this year's drive even bigger. Individual autographs and an all-inclusive VIP package is available online now. If you order your signed photos before or during the live appearances, the superstars will sign them on the air and then mailed directly to your home. If you want a VIP package but you missed some of the superstars' live appearances, don't worry. They've signed enough photos and posters for us to ship to you by December the 19th. If that wasn't enough, we're working on items for our annual mega raffle where one lucky fan will walk away with a huge jackpot of prizes, all to benefit the toy drive and honor the memory of the late, great Paul Bearer, who helped myself and John Cena Sr. start this endeavor in 2012. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com to get your orders in now. Let's create smiles in 2020.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Fans around the corner, around the world, wherever you may be, we're happy you joined us. I'm Dan Marty along with
MJ in the house.
future WWE Hall of Famer.
What's my real name?
Well, I'd
There
have
you
to
go
check your
again.
government-issued ID for that.
I ain't gonna find one.
All right, well, literally.
Yeah.
I'd have a long wait if I was trying to look for that.
Might as well look for a body in the river.
Fans, we continue to have fun each and here.
Why you keep doing shit like that?
Chattahoochee, is that the name of it?
Yeah, Chattahoochee.
Yeah, Annie
Stop
saw a
bringing
little
that up. It was
Chattahoochee
just-
in her time, but that's all right.
Oh boy.
Fans, Thursday nights we're having a blast here. Again, we are LIVE in this chat room to your right.
To the
gray, to
No,
my
I guess
right.
to the right.
Yeah, to my right. The gray super chat button is open if you want to help legends like Marty Jannetty keep working, keep getting booked. That is a great way to help any way you can.
And buying these great glasses.
Well, maybe those will be available for Christmas time.
$1.
$1. All right, we'll start the bidding now. Who wants Marty's glasses? Starting at $1. Also, if you're having fun with us, please give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. That helps an awful lot. As well as subscribing to the channel. It's absolutely free. We have over
Why do we have this up here? I was trying to hide that.
They must think we're the shits. I don't know.
Now, I'll show y'all later on.
All right.
I got to make my paper teeth out of this because, see, look. See the white right there? I can't afford right now to get when they drill it up in your jaw. It's like $3,000 or $4,000.
Ouch.
So I had to do the snap-in ones. I think they're called flippers. But
Flippers?
That's what somebody in the dentist field told me. Dentistry. So we got one made and it didn't fit in there right. They got knocked out through wrestling. What else? Showing some new kids how to hit the post, and I hit it a little too hard, and one tooth is gone. But the little flippers, they made them two different ones and messed them both up. They don't fit, so I'm stuck with putting. This shit works good. This shit works good for making a paper tooth. You see, but the only thing is my teeth are so damn dark from drinking coffee. It looks like I got one white tooth.
Now, did that roll come from the Iron Mike shop collection?
No, it came from your collection back
Oh,
there in
okay.
the back.
All right,
but
well.
my Iron Mike would probably be proud to see
He'd be
it.
proud to do push-ups on that roll of
Yes.
toilet paper. All right, well,
He might
that's
even-
good to know.
He might even wipe with it. I don't know.
Well, all right, wrestling fans.
My coach told me to keep it classy. I'm gonna try, Coach.
Nobody does it better.
Right.
Nobody does it classy. It's like when Annie used to say about how classy
we-
she was. But we talked about
Oh, yeah,
that on a
yeah.
previous episode.
Yeah.
She was a very classy rat. Again, the Patreon is open, fans. If you want dozens and dozens of Studio Shoot Interview DVDs at full length with Sheiky Baby, Paul Bearer, and so many more, that'll run you about as much as a cup of coffee at Starbucks would in 2020.
No, because
It's a great
Starbucks it
deal.
costs more. I tried to
Probably, yeah.
I tried to get some coffee in there, and I just couldn't see paying $8 for a damn cup of coffee.
Well, you know what? If you have our video cup of coffee, so to speak, over on the Patreon, it won't just flush through your system into your favorite toilet later in the day. You'll
Do you
be
know-
helping keep professional wrestling legends work.
You know, coffee's good for the liver.
I've never had a cup of coffee
Never.
in my life.
Oh, that's because you drink the Monster Energies.
I only got on those because of John Layfield.
Oh, why? How'd that happen?
It's a very interesting story here. John wound up starting his own energy drink after he retired for the first
Oh, that's
time
right.
from
I heard that
WWE.
somewhere.
Bruce worked with him, and he did a big promotional effort here on the show. And he would just send cases and cases and cases of the thing. Where I worked down at Comcast previously, I mean, everyone was coming up to, oh, can I grab an energy drink? Oh, can I? And he'd send 12 cases of 12, so that was 144 in a whack.
Oh, you did that pretty good. You already had that added up.
I just multiplied it.
Okay.
Linda would be hustling me for the bottles of the energy drink. She'd hate me unless I had the energy drinks
Linda.
available. Linda Maratti.
Oh,
Remember that
okay.
one that was out in the car?
With the kid.
Yeah. Happy to see the kid, though.
Hey, I'm glad. I hope you're having a good. That birthday was when last week.
That was July, but yeah.
Oh, we're in November. Well, happy late birthday. I think we said happy birthday.
I don't think it could get much later than this. Yes, we did wish him a happy birthday, though, back
Devon
when
in
it
the
happened.
house.
And Christmas is coming up, so we'll wish him a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Devon.
The best kid in the world.
When is Thanksgiving?
If we haven't hit Thanksgiving yet, it's got to be coming up pretty soon. I think maybe we should tape, to be kind, a little bumper before you leave to go back to Georgia, just so we have it in the can to be on the safe side.
In the can?
Well, not that can. But
Yeah,
that's
okay.
all right. That's all right.
All right, Annie.
All right, wrestling fans. I don't even remember where I was going with this episode.
See?
That's how you can tell we're having fun, is when we lose sense of direction completely.
Oh, I must have a lot of fun.
Well, we got to get the GPS and the brain working on this one. Again, where it
You
is
know
no-
I got brain damage.
Well, you know, I think that comes with anyone that's been in this industry as long as you have.
30. Well, you said 4 generations.
This is
four,
your fifth
not genera-
decade now.
Decade, I meant.
Yeah, fifth decade now that it's the 2020s.
Damn. Yeah, and I got brain damage. I got CTE for real. I mean, I don't know if it's something to joke about, but it.
No,
better than-
that is nothing. We have a lot of fun here on the show, but that's nothing to joke about.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean,
the
it can
fan
get-
response to that episode we did
It
was
gets-
very good.
It gets serious, yeah.
Yeah.
At times, it's a weird world when you start floating into the la la land and start hallucinating, and then you don't know what's real or what's a hallucination. You know, when you feel like I was taking pictures of the Grim Reaper sitting on my couch, I thought it was kind of cool. He was sitting there with me, and we were telling, you know, we were laughing together, and so I wanted to get a picture, you know, if he didn't mind, you know, which he didn't.
You were polite to the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, he was polite to me. I mean, he was there to get me, I'm sure. But, you know, he ended up laughing with me, and then he left me. I took the picture. I was like, well, I got a picture of him, and I looked, there ain't nothing but the couch. There wasn't no Grim Reaper there.
I don't
but
know- oh.
By while it was happening, it felt real as it was really right there. Wearing this dark cape-looking thing, and I had some kind of, what do they call them things, sickle? Or whatever.
Yeah, the big sickle, yeah.
Yeah. And during it, none of that seemed odd. You would think like, then you think of a little odd, the Grim Reaper sitting on your couch. No, it seemed normal. Swaggy, my cat, came up and talked to me in English. That didn't seem unusual. The only thing I was like, why didn't you tell me you could talk English? You know, that was it.
It'd make communication a little easier around the house, yeah.
I mean, I understand what he's saying. I mean, he gets aggressive when he's hungry, or if he wants his litter box, you know, he'll come wipe his ass on my foot. Like, that's his way of letting me know the litter box needs cleaning. And so we have body language, you know, communication. But I mean, he was speaking. Man, I had them baseball hands you got, Matt Daddy.
Did you know that Glantz was actually a superstar baseball player?
Yeah, he was
at
telling
one
me
point?
last night.
Yeah.
He was a catcher. Did he say he was a catcher, Matt Daddy? Catcher, yeah. And Yeah, he was pretty interesting. He was selling some tip-offs. Remember Matt was a pitcher. Matt
Yeah.
Daddy was a pitcher. And
Glantz also is a hooker.
he's a what?
A hooker.
Oh, he smokes a hookah?
No, not hookah. A
Oh,
hooker.
hookah. It said hookah.
Hooker.
He was a hooker like Mel?
No, like grappling.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, damn, that's pretty cool.
You wouldn't have expected that, but
No,
Glantz is a man of many mysteries, including the mystery why he's not here this week.
I don't know, because you keep calling him the Jew kid.
I've never called him the Jew kid.
Who was that you called a Jew? I mean, after Sheik, like imitating Sheik. But you always
The
know
Sheik
that
said
Jew.
it so many times, I couldn't even think of who the Sheik might have been saying it about.
Well, no, you.
Even people that
you
weren't Jews, he'd throw the Jew label on them. Nikolai was a Jew, because Nikolai didn't tip the wheelchair man $2 in Las Vegas.
They didn't tip nobody anything. In fact, the Sheik wanted them to tip him because he was in their presence.
Sheiky Baby could find a way to drain $1 out of a penny if he could.
He's done it. They say a promoter and him invented copper wire fighting over a penny.
Oh, Sheiky Baby again. I only hope that someday him and I can meet up in person again.
We were in Orlando waiting for Sheiky Baby. It was about 5 or 6 of us, and the flights. They tried to put all the flights together, and Sheiky, I was next to last. My flight came in late. They were all like, "Damn, Marty missed the flight. Damn, Marty missed it." But I didn't. The flight was just late. It was about an hour late, and I don't know why they didn't know that. They, should be able to tell when to check on the flight if it's landing.
Yeah, on the
this
big
wasn't that
board
long
and
ago.
whatnot,
Now this is
yeah.
like, it might have been WrestleMania, the one that was in Orlando about 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think it might have been that one, but I'm not sure on that. But it was Orlando. I just remember because I knew that airport. I lived in Orlando for so long and flew in and out of that airport all the damn time. It's the worst airport to fly into.
Orlando?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because there's always kids on the plane. You've been on the road 20, 30 days.
Oh, looking at it from that point of view, yeah, you're right.
The Disney World kids are coming in, and they're bratty to kick in the back of your chair the whole damn flight. I tried to ignore it for so long, but one day, I was so sore from working with Powers of Pain and bouncing around the ring like a human Super Bowl. But the kid was kicking the shit out, and sometimes you look and they'll stop for a minute, but then they'll go right back again and kicking you. And I finally had enough. I remember turning around saying, "It ain't your fault. Your parents should teach you better." And they were sitting right there, and then they finally made him stop.
You're gonna be proud of me.
What'd you do?
This would have been the first time we took the baby, the youngest one, to Disney World. Me, Linda, and the kid.
First time. Devon, you didn't tell me you were spoiled.
Oh, that kid's been to Florida. He knows Florida almost as well as he knows Massachusetts. But the first time we went down, we flew home. She wanted to leave early. She has her demands in life because she is Linda after all. But so the only...
I keep thinking you've been Linda McMahon.
No.
But she has her demands in life too.
That's a different story for a different time. But with my Linda, my God, we had to leave a day early because I don't know, whatever it was going. No, this was the second time. Yeah, because it was 2009. Okay. So there were no direct flights because she wanted to switch that had any availability. So we had to take a connection through LaGuardia. That's the one that's the more difficult of the two, right? We have to take the shuttle?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had to so on the way home we had to wait. We missed the first one.
Now, because it's horrible over in LaGuardia right now.
Yeah.
No, ours at JFK. One of them's got construction.
Both of them suck.
Oh, yeah.
But so we finally get on the shuttle to go home, and then he's in the middle seat, and he's going.
He's kicking it. I don't
And
know
I
why
said,
they love
"Stop
doing that.
And there was a little baby sitting in the seat
Oh,
in
that's
front
why
of
he
him.
was doing it.
And he's going. No, this one. This is like a real baby in the little, the baby gimmick that they sleep in.
Yeah, the
with the
crib
two
thing.
parents, and then
Yeah.
it was me and Linda on the window in the aisle, and he was in the middle. Boom. I said, "You stop kicking it." Boom. I said, "You stop kicking it." Boom. So I didn't hurt him, but I squeezed his hand, and she started yelling at me.
Oh,
To me, the laws of the era, you can't kick the seat in front of you.
you shouldn't.
And another one, I'll tell you this, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but one of my laws of the air is you don't lean the chair back.
Yeah,
I don't lean
if
mine
you
back,
do,
and I don't want someone else's leaning in these knees.
especially when you're eating,
Yeah, and then there's that.
Yeah, but sometimes because Just stupid ankles. They're getting fixed soon. Dr. McCluskey's coming to the rescue. Lee McCluskey in the house.
Good man.
Yep.
I may have to come see him sometime soon, too.
He's good, but he's ankle specialist. You got the back, right?
I've got everything.
Yeah, well,
If he knows anything about CRPS, I want to
well,
talk
check
to
this
him.
out. He does ankles. His brother Mac, I think Mac does knees, and then one of them does the spine and neck.
Oh, wow.
They got three. They got their whole body covered.
Their family must love them, no matter what the ailment. They've got one of the
Well,
kids in the family that can help.
I think their dad was a doctor too. I could be right, you know. But,
Usually, yeah.
I don't know about that now. Sometimes late at night I make mistakes. You know, my dad and I think it was Bear Bryant used to say, not much good happens after midnight. There's going to be some, if it's after midnight, there's some mistakes going to be made.
I think maybe the saying should be you run the risk of greater mistake after midnight.
Probably.
Because you can have a lot of fun after midnight.
Yeah, well, I always do.
But
then
you run the greater risk of mistake after midnight, too.
You know this one girl, and I shouldn't say her name is Ann, because it's not Ass-Eating Annie.
This is just an Ann.
Yeah, Ann CV, and I shouldn't really say her last name. But in fact, I'll take that back. I didn't say the last name. But Ann, she was a Denver girl. I really liked her a lot too. Still do. I mean, we still talk. But no, let me. Her name ain't Ann. She didn't have a name. Some girl didn't have a name, and she. I think the first time that I met her, I want to be careful because I don't want to trash nobody. Because I'm not going to tell the story.
No,
now.
tell the story.
I told her name. I'm not going to do that.
Well, like do you think there's only one Ann
But I
in
can't-
Denver, Colorado?
Well, I said the last name.
You didn't say the last name.
Well, I'm not going to say nothing. Well, there's plenty more stories.
All right, well,
Hey, I know what I can do.
What are you going to do?
I'll replace
no,
it.
we were talking about the laws of the air is how we kind of morphed into talking about Ann in Denver.
Yes.
I mean, do you agree that the seat reclining is
The
pretty
kid
rude?
wasn't my baby.
What's that? What'd you say?
I ain't gonna repeat that. I said the kid was not mine.
No, the DNA didn't come up in that one.
No, it ended up being her boyfriend that she lived with.
With Ann in Colorado.
No, I didn't
we got
say
to the
that.
end of the story pretty quick.
I didn't say no names.
All right, well,
And if you were with 5 of the boys in one night, why you pick me?
5 of the boys in one night.
And you pick me out of that group?
Well,
Damn.
Ann was a woman that
I didn't say it was
she
Ann.
knew how to
This-
show
this was a-
affection.
This was a different girl. It might have been Georgia. I don't mind telling Georgia because Georgia did the same thing.
Now, there's that famous
No,
song.
except for the pregnant part.
There's that famous song, Georgia on My Mind. To you, maybe it was Georgia on My Crotch.
There's also another song by Michael Jackson. The kid is not mine. He's not my. How'd it go? Mary Jane, somebody's not my.
Not my girl.
Not my
Not
girl.
my lover or something
Not my
like that.
lover. She's just the one.
Oh, he listens to it in the WFAN over there. He's marking out in the control room.
You got it?
Which one is it?
But the kid
Not
is
my
not
lover,
my
I guess.
child.
Okay.
Not my lover.
All right, well.
The kid is not my child. You see why I don't sing for a living?
Well, all right. But certainly you've kept the wombs in business over the years.
You know, when I was over in England one time, I think we might have been over in France or somewhere over in Europe. I think it was England, though, because they love Michael in England.
Yeah.
But Matt Day don't know, you probably know this. They rolled out like a 50-foot statue of Michael Jackson.
Wow.
They were bringing it up the river or some shit, but they had it on we was at a club. And it was a nice-ass club, and they had a huge screen for playing the music videos. And then when they hit the Michael Jackson, boom, 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 that, what song was that? What song was that one? Beat It?
Yeah, I think that was the lead in to Beat It. Yeah.
And the club froze. Everybody froze.
Why?
They were like they were mesmerized with Michael Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the big statue, they put a big statue somewhere in town. My British people, y'all know, do the British people get to see this?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Around the world.
When Facebook unblocks me for something that didn't really happen.
By this time, I think you'll be back on Facebook.
You know what?
Unless you get
on
suspended
here?
again. Yeah, unless you get suspended again.
No, I didn't mean to the last time. And the time before. You know, they start you off with a 3-day suspension, I think. Maybe even 1, but I think 3. Then you go a week, and then you go 30 days.
It's almost like Vince's drug tests back in the 80s if you failed them. Yeah, they escalated.
Yeah, the first time you get a warning, I don't even remember if you had a warning. I think you did. You got a warning that the next time you're getting 6 weeks off, then 6 months off, then a year. I think that's how it went, but I ain't sure because I never failed any of them.
Well, see, you were always very positive.
You
like
know
the
what?
sheep.
You have to become creative, though. You know, we always urinate in a little Visine bottle or something before we went. And I'm not going to mention which Hebner. And actually, it was a couple of agents I shouldn't be telling this. I don't know what they do now. I think they randomly pick you. You know, they don't. Well, I don't know. And that's what I do know.
That is how it's done.
What I do know is one of the agents, and it was a twin. Does that help? Will come tell us, hey, we're having a drug test on Thursday. Because you need 72 hours to clean out cocaine out of your system. Weed is going to be there for a month. And, you know, they started coming up with these drinks that'll flush you.
Yeah,
and
they
you
sell
gotta
them now over the counter.
Yeah, you got to time it perfect, though, because some of the guys took that and still failed. But they at first we just, you know, Visine bottle, you know, that was the best because it's so small and, you know, it fits in there and you squirt the pee into the thing. Then when it started getting known with it, they really wasn't trying to catch anybody. It was just covering their ass. You know what I mean? That's probably why the agents would tell us, because they just didn't want, you know, they were protecting themselves like we drug test them.
Sure, they have to.
Right.
That was part of their job, but
yeah,
in all fairness, they'd try to give you a hand if they could.
And it also gave them an excuse if they wanted to get rid of your ass. You just failed. Get the hell out of here. Get your ass. But
let me ask you this: were there agents, do you think, that were more friendly to try and help the boys out in those situations?
Well, the Hebners, I'm sorry, the twins.
Were there agents that you
the
think?
Hebners, I might as well say it now.
Were there other agents that you think maybe didn't care if you sank or swim?
Oh yeah.
Who would that be?
I'm not going to say.
Well, what's wrong with saying that? Technically, they were doing their job and obeying the law.
That's all they were doing. Like Rene Goulet, I'm not going to say his name though.
Yeah.
He was real stiff, and Pedro Morales was actually kind of stiff.
Really?
They weren't mean, and they weren't trying to fuck you up. But excuse me.
They were going by the letter of the law.
Yeah, they were sticking to it.
That's respectable enough, I guess.
Yeah,
unless they were really out to screw with somebody.
Back then, I used to do cocaine. I don't do that much anymore. Did you hear what I said?
Not much anymore. I heard it.
I
tell you, we're going to have some fun if we go to WrestleCon in Los Angeles this spring.
Is that where it is?
That's where it is this year, yeah. We already have the booths booked. I think it would be tremendous if we had our Wrestling Insiders booths. You, Tony, and some of our other friends.
Beefcake.
Beefcake?
Because he brings that whole barbershop set with him.
Well, I don't know if that would fit on the plane. I don't know about that.
But it gets it there somehow.
Yeah. I didn't know that was his. That would actually look pretty good in the studio, I think.
It would look great.
Yeah? Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
We could tell him, well, he probably got it in Tampa, though. He's up here already. Sunday, what day is this?
Today,
Thursday.
It's Thursday at 9 o'clock, obviously, wink, wink. But we're actually taping this on a Monday, believe it or not.
Monday, yeah. I think him and Missy, you know, his wife, they got in town yesterday in Boston.
Oh, did they? Okay. So they're already here. All right.
Yeah. But I'm sure he didn't bring the set with him. I really don't know if it's his. They had one when it was over in England, in Manchester. I was in Manchester. No, I'm sorry, Scotland last year. The same group for the love of wrestling. Convention every year, twice a year sometimes. But we were in Scotland, and they had the whole barbershop set. In fact, I asked where I sat and took pictures. Beefcake couldn't make it for some reason.
He couldn't make it to his own barbershop.
Yeah, it had to do with somebody screwed up the flight situation or something. I don't remember. It wasn't his fault though.
Yeah.
I know that. But they beautiful set. And maybe they made it themselves. It's probably the hell's close.
I hope we're not going to have a repeat.
I know. I was just thinking that the power's about to go.
SummerSlam Sunday. If these lights start blinking again, I give up. The next blink is going to be the darkness with the shotgun going off in my head with all the time we lost yesterday. My God.
Or Percy Pringle's up to his games again.
Oh, that's Percy. I'll tell you. That man never met a rib he didn't like.
Love you, brother. Rest in peace.
We miss him every day.
What is better to say, rest in peace or God bless his soul or rest his soul? Or either one?
Either one. Okay. I think as long as it comes from a good place inside of you, how can you go wrong?
You notice we say it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many of the guys, you know. I think I told you that on one of the episodes. You know, the guys that partied, you know, did the recreational drugs and partied so much, they're pretty much still around.
Look at the Sheik.
Yeah.
The Sheik may be the last human being living on planet Earth before it implodes, and someday he'll just be sitting there in his recliner down in Fayetteville, watching he likes to watch the morning news shows. I don't know if he knows what they're talking about, but
No, he when they talk about Israel, he pays attention.
Yeah,
Them Jew motherfuckers. He don't really hate Jewish, you know. That's part
he
of
just hates everyone when he's high. But
Well, yeah.
he's not high anymore, so that's a good thing for him. But he's in an awful lot of pain as a result of it.
Yeah, I saw him at the WrestleCon, this last WrestleCon. Where was it? Up in New York.
Yeah, Tony and I went down and visited him. Oh, because you wouldn't know this, but the first day I was involved in wrestling back in 1993, they were the two headliners for a show by Boston Bad Boy Tony Rumble in Wakefield, Massachusetts. Tony and the Sheik.
I'll be damned. Wakefield, that's who was wrestling this place. How you pronounce it? Woburn?
Woburn is the city where you were staying. Yeah.
Woburn. There's a college right next to me that I don't particularly like, called Auburn. And when I saw that Woburn, I thought it was Woburn, and that's how I was remembering it's from Auburn.
No, as we say it here, it's Woburn, so it doesn't technically rhyme.
Yeah, my Google Assistant lady, you know, I tried to have phone sex with her once.
Really?
Yeah, and it didn't
You
work.
had an argument with her last night a couple of times.
Yeah, I got mad as hell at her. In fact, I might cuss
You had
her.
about enough.
Where's my phone?
I have no idea what you did with it. You've been
damn.
looking for it for several episodes now, but we can look maybe on the next break. You know, this is kind of interesting. A lot of the folks, as we finished up 1988 in your chronological look at your time there.
Wait, though.
Oh,
So the guys that, you know, that were just steroids,
keep going.
steroids only, they was pretty much all around. Like Warlord, I mean, I'm not trying to spill your business out there, bro, but
well, I don't know if I'd go with that far, but
What's
you
that?
know better than me. I mean, a lot of those, when you see all those deaths from the enlarged hearts,
I had to give them shots before.
No, I know that, but I mean, you're saying that you think those guys are still around. I think,
Well, no, it's the guys that did both.
those are the ones that.
That's the ones that kept, you know, just I hate to say that word, disappearing. You know why, don't you?
Well,
Bowling alley.
Bob, yeah.
That
What
was
about Bob?
CTE moment. That's the whole story. But really, it was a setup. I'm gonna wait and put it on my Facebook before I let the.
I don't know if it should be anywhere at this point, but Pandora's box wasn't just open; it was blown open with the torpedo.
Now I'm embarrassed again.
Well, no, it's just what has happened to the brotherhood, the fraternity that is in this business. It's for so many years it's been heartbreaking. It was tough to live through.
I think I told this one. This is like episode 916. Or something.
Maybe 17. We'll say.
Yeah, I think I told, but Warlord, you know, Fuji used to give him his shots, and well, Terry, I hope you ain't getting mad at me. I think everybody knows this.
He'll be up here soon enough. He can get a receipt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he can tell you some stuff too. I love old Terry, man. He's a good one.
I don't think I've ever met him, but he's worked a lot with one of our great friends who runs the CWE organization in Canada, Danny Duggan, and he speaks very, very highly of him, which
Terry's
made
the best.
Me interested in having him here to tell his stories. You know?
Yeah, he's a great guy. You'll love him, man. I don't know anybody that doesn't. You know,
Yeah, I can't believe he's one of the few guys that I can think of that I know off the top of my head I've never met.
Yeah, great guy. You'll love him. Everybody will. He's a good dude. And Barbarian. You know, Barb's, they were a good.
Well, Barbarian, I've met him a couple of times. We were talking about his wife that works down at the airport in Charlotte, but that situation where Shelton Benjamin was done wrong. Shelton Benjamin is a great, great friend to us.
I've met him a few times. He was nice enough to me. He was very respectful.
He's got a great respect for the history of the business.
Yeah.
He was a great fan when he grew up in South Carolina.
And I got great respect for him. He did pretty good in amateur wrestling himself.
Yes. Yeah.
Was he a national champion? He was pretty good.
I think so.
He was pretty up there, and that's always going to get my respect.
Well, he was
because I know what the hell goes into that.
College roommates with Brock. So, I mean, that's a real deal. Yeah.
Well, you ain't going to be roommates and not learn a few things.
Yeah. Well, he's got a couple of years on
By the way,
Brock.
what's up, Coach Doobie?
All
Coach.
Right. Coach Doobie?
Stubby.
Oh, Stubby. Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to say, I
Doobie.
thought maybe you were sending a subliminal message.
And that could be coming. I'm going to start calling you Coach Doobie.
All right. Well, Marty, we have a couple of questions from the fans as we take a break in between the years in this week's episode about some wrestling scandals, ones that maybe you weren't...
So what had happened was the Warlord is Fuji. I can't believe I'm staying.
All right, go ahead, brother.
I'm
Finish off
staying
the
on this
Warlord's
week.
ass. Not like the Sheik would, but...
It was shiny, but Fuji wasn't there, and Terry and I are pretty good friends. Warlord and I are pretty good friends, and he says, "Hey Marty, would you mind giving me a shot?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't mind." So I never really cared for it, steroid shit. When Sean and I first got there, everybody's monsters. So we thought we better start taking the shit and see what happens, because we'd never taken it. And we did what they call a cycle. I think it was 6 weeks worth of testosterone and maybe some Winterstraw V, which is a cutting agent, cut the fat. But I don't remember what it was. I just know, they told us it went some spit again. Did you see it?
And I didn't. But I can't see much with these eyes.
I might have to change my tooth.
All right.
I brought the
It's a good thing you got some toilet paper.
instant tooth.
Insta-tooth.
Yeah, instant. And we did one cycle. We're gonna get back to Warlord, but we did one cycle. Well, I did one cycle, and we went from like 220 pounds to 230, and we got a lot stronger. But I thought, with all the side effects and all the stories of steroid use and how it's frowned upon. Even though everything now, you ever notice that every reference, like when something's crazy, it's like a president on steroids, or this is a sports car on steroids. They always
every time something's big, it's blah 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 on steroids.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
So I mean, I was trying to get away from the stigma of, oh yeah, he takes steroids. Well, mainly, and again, I gained 10 pounds. Okay, now I'm 230. There's still 300. I'm gonna worry about my body screwing up to gain 10 pounds of water, because it ain't muscle. You ain't gaining muscle, but it's the water in the muscle that bloats you and makes you stronger. But so I quit. I think Sean might have got interested in it. I know Kurt Hennig got him. This isn't known, so I don't feel bad about telling this story. But Kurt Hennig had a little bit of an issue with Sean, and so he took some what was called Dynabol. It was a pill form, like a testosterone type pill, and Dynabol. He crushed it up. And back then, all the boys, I told you, they're always doing the same things. Everybody's buying snakeskin boots, or everybody's buying motorcycles, or everybody's getting Halliburtons. Every damn body was playing Game Boy. It killed the airplane rides. You didn't even know, but everybody was taking metabolol, chocolate flavor is a protein powder. Everybody was doing that. You're getting your shake cup and you put protein and mix it with whatever you want. But Kurt Hennig was a little upset with Sean. So he crushed up some Dynabol and poured it in his metabolol, his protein powder. So Sean was taking his, and we were getting tested coming up. And you wasn't supposed to be doing roids either, besides the recreational drugs. And Sean's drinking away on his metabolol and protein powder and tested positive. And Vince called him in. And, he told Sean, "You tested positive?" And Sean's like, "Oh, fuck you now. None of the rest of us could have got away with motherfucking Vince." Calling him an MFer. Did I just cuss again?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. I thought shit. Or anyway, Sean Cousin, "Oh, fuck you. If you want to get rid of me, just say you want to get rid of me." And, Vince was like, "No, you tested positive. You've got Dynabol, or you got, however you told me." I wasn't in there for the meeting, but it got around the boys. But we were at the arena when we could hear Sean screaming, "Fuck you, fuck." He handed out about 3 or 4 fuck yous and a couple of Merles. The Merles, that's between me and Swaggy. Okay. But he knew he wasn't taking steroids, right? So, how the hell would he test positive for that? That was a bullshit lie to him. He thought Vince was hustling.
Well, at the time when Sean vanished from WWF for quite a while in the fall of 1993, while he was Intercontinental Champion, you can't look back at footage of him and say this was a man that was in great, tremendous shape. He was out of shape, if anything. He had the tights going up over his belly button.
I used to tell him, pull him down. The first time I met him, he had blue jeans with a Texas belt buckle about this big, and he had them yanked up underneath his nipples. I was like, "No, we can't ride together like that." And you talk about ball swallowing. I mean, you can see nuts on. Oh, sorry. Because he had him up so high, his sack was splitting. He had a camel toe. But it was old Kurt. That was that Vince.
That was what?
I'll give you a 7, 8 on that one. That Vince laugh.
Oh, the laugh. Okay.
But so anyway, Sean. I don't know if he let him go for. take a.
He was suspended. Him, Matt Bourne, we'll get into that in 93, but him, Matt Bourne, and the Steiners all at the same time, all got popped for something. Doink never came back. The Steiners were gone for a little bit. Then they came back and left and came back again before they vanished in 94 for good. But Sean was pretty much done, at least until Survivor Series, and then he was part-time for almost a year.
Well, you know, I think it was probably around 90, was it 96 when he got the Syracuse thing happened?
That was fall of 95.
95. A lot of people want to say that, you know, Bret got the screw job, but, you know, I love Bret to death. We're you know, the whole Hart family. But, I mean, that's a pick it. You pick it. Was Bret wrong, or was he kind of okay with what he did? You know, we just moved right from the steroids to the screw job in Montreal.
Well, you want to know something funny?
We want to save it, or what?
No, because the fans they actually had a couple of questions about a couple of different wrestling scandals. They wanted your input. You know, let's take a look at it. September of 1997, Bret Hart meets with Vince McMahon prior to a Monday Night Raw at Madison Square Garden, the first Raw ever in that historic building. Vince says, I can't afford your $1.5 million a year anymore because Shawn, Undertaker, Austin.
He was already getting it?
He was already getting the $1.5.
Damn, Bret, you didn't tell me.
Yeah, Bret re-signed in October of 96.
That would have helped me any.
So this is almost 1 year later.
Yeah.
And he knew Shawn, Austin, Undertaker were all at $750, and they all knew what Bret was getting, and they were all coming up sometime soon.
Right.
So he said, if you can go get that WCW money, go out and get it.
And he did.
But the problem was, who was the world champion of the company?
Well, here's the thing.
Well, let's just go through the timeline in case there's some people that aren't familiar with it.
Okay.
September 97, when you're told, go see if you can get WCW money, you're still the WWF World Heavyweight Champion.
Right.
So why wouldn't you have got the belt off the man before it ever happened? So eventually, Bret talked with Eric Bischoff. That history is known. He wound up going to WCW. He agreed to a deal with them, I believe, right around the Halloween deadline in October of 97. The problem was, even a month later, he's still the WWF World Champion, which takes us to Survivor Series. Two people that did not like each other all that much between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
Not that
main
much, not at all.
Montreal, Canada, Survivor Series 97. Bret Hart against Shawn Michaels for the WWF World Championship. Bret Hart is in the middle of having a documentary taped about his life, and he's actually mic'd. And then we had what is known as the screw job. Which
now, where it really began, as you back up, I think it was around 96, because I was still with the company. That was when we were doing the New Rockers.
Yep.
And, you know, I had, Shawn left with Davey Boy and X-Pac of the hotel where we were at, and I seen them leaving. I was just getting back from the show, and I knew they were going to a club. I'm like, where's everybody going? Where's everybody going tonight? And, you know, Shawn just kind of, I don't know. He didn't want to tell me for some reason. And, you know, Davey's like, we're fucking going to all of them. You know, so
that's a good answer. Yeah, I'm not going to
but it's true.
We
did. We would do that. We'd hit 2 or 3. As soon as one started lagging, you go to another. But anyway, so you know, Shawn was kind of standoffish. I was like, "Fuck is that?" I am glad I didn't go now, because that's the night.
Yeah, look at what it turned into.
They say 11 was it Marines or Rangers or something jumped him, but everybody did. I went to that club the next night, and everybody was telling me about it. It was just one guy. There was a bunch of others around. That's the ones that, you know, a couple of them jumped on Davey Boy when he got out of the car and just held him where he couldn't help or do anything. And X-Pac, I love my Shawn, man. I love Shawn.
Great guy.
Yes. But as Davey Boy tells it, over out there, everybody's getting the ass beat, and the fucking kid, he rolls under the car and he's checking the muffler. He's checking the fucking muffler. We're fucking fighting, and he's checking the muffler. And kid was like, it's a rent-a-car, and he's checking the muffler. Kid was like, no, I rolled up under the car so I could put tape around my fist so I wouldn't, which I, what? Okay, bro. You were hiding under there to tape your fist up. Why you gotta tape your fist up? Come on. But that was just funny with Davey. Like, the fucking kid, he's under the car checking the muffler. But Shawn got pummeled pretty bad that night, and I think it had to do over a girl. I don't know that. I wasn't there, but everybody said that the girl that was, I think she was just legitimately giving them a ride because everybody was GHB and whatever else. You know, and everybody was like this, and she was gonna give him a ride. I think to the hotel, and but the girl was the dude that ended up getting Sean's, you know, jumping Sean. It was his girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so here's all these wrestlers, and he was cussing the girl, and then he started cussing Sean, and Sean was just, you know, everybody was like kind of GHB'd out, you know, in La La Land, and I think they took advantage of that. They saw that, oh, he's fucked up right now. I'll fuck him up, and snatched him out of the car. You know, like I said, Davey got out to help. The kid went to check the muffler, and but you know, if you remember, probably 6 weeks after that happened. By the way, I was glad I didn't go to that club with Sean that night, because I certainly wouldn't have sat there and let something like that happen to him, and that would have meant I'd probably got shit beat out of me too, or a bunch of Marines there. But I still would have helped, even though I knew I was going to get ass kicking, just like Davey Boy. You know, they said he said one dude kept trying to stick his finger in his eye. I was like digging around, and my brothers, that's a Marine technique called hooking. They hook around your nose bone or whatever, and yank it, and it can kill you.
Sure, Glantz knows that one too.
Why does he know that one?
He's like I said, he's a hooker.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. But so you know, a couple 6 weeks later, oh man, when Sean came in that night, gosh dang, you know, me and him, we had a fallout one time, and you know, it's not something I, you know, like to talk about, but he looked pretty bad the next day. As far as he looked pretty bad that night, actually. I felt so bad that night. But he had, when he came in, when they all came in that night, I was just coming back too, from some club. I had some new girl with me that I didn't even know her name. She kept asking me her name, and I'm like, help me. And she would tell me, and I'd forget 2 minutes later. But anyway, that's how many women were on the road. Sometimes you didn't remember their names the same night. But that's horrible, ain't it?
It's the truth of the matter. It's honest.
It is true. But Sean comes in, they all come in, and Sean's, oh my God, it was rough.
That bad?
Knotted here, knotted there, bleeding here. I think Julie, the seamstress, one of the seamstress girls, of course, Davey called them the nuns on the run, because they were always having sex with everybody back then. But she went crazy, and I think she was trying to make sure he went to the hospital. But so 6 months later, we get 10 more minutes.
Yeah, we can go with about 10. Yep.
The 6 weeks, I said 6 months. 6 weeks later, maybe. You remember Sean lost his smile? Remember he came out in the ring and said, "I'm, you know."
No, there was actually the big. You jumping the gun on that.
It was a little. Well, no, because he did something in the ring where he fell.
Right.
And then they said
he didn't do losing his smile. It was in Lowell. That was February of '97. So that was almost a year and a half later.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, but it's still tied in. He didn't want to drop the belt too.
At that October pay-per-view you were at Goldust on, that was, he had to forfeit the Intercontinental title that night. And
that
then
was
Razor
in
and
your
Shane
house?
Douglas did a gimmick for it. Yeah.
Whenever I think they still referred back to he's lost his smile, but and also that beating evidently.
They did bring up the actual attack when he had to forfeit the title.
It was like 6 weeks later.
Yeah.
That's how that shit runs together when you're on the road 300 days a year.
Yep.
But they, from the story, but the backstory was they was going to drop they were supposed to give Bret the belt. Sean was going to do the favor, get the belt over to Bret, and.
The Intercontinental title?
Yeah, and then he lost his smile or something.
No, I think you have it right, but you're just looking at two different time periods. In
That might be, but the screw job
in
was after
97,
that. Well, see, Bret didn't.
Going into, when he forfeited the world title in February of '97 in Lowell, when he lost the smile, he was going to go into WrestleMania 13 and do the job to Bret. And that's supposedly why he had the career-ending knee injury.
Oh, is that what the knee thing was?
So I think you're thinking about two different times he lost the smile.
It could, well, he lost it a few times. Louisville Police Department made him lose it once.
Instead of Sherry,
that was wrong of them.
If instead of Sherry he had Annie as his valet, he may have never lost his smile.
No, she'd please them all. But well, still, what had happened was Bret felt like he got stiffed out of that. You know, Shawn didn't want to drop the title to him, which could be because they had a lot of animosity towards each other. And then later, when it was Bret's turn to drop it to Shawn, it kind of like he remembered it, like, or at least not here, not in my home country. Well, we don't get the whole country, and Bret knows that. That was just.
You know what? That'd be like someone saying, I can't lose in America.
Yeah, well, exactly.
To me.
Exactly. That's
But I
what
also think it's preposterous you'd keep the championship belt on someone that's going to leave the company.
What he wanted to do it, I think, on Live or something, or the next day on Raw, back in America or something. That's that's the word I got. I wasn't there, but so Bret, not wanting to drop the belt that night, they had to come up with that finish. Like, we'll get him and do that, get the sharpshooter, and tap, say he tapped out, it's over. So my question is to the fans: is Bret wrong for not wanting to do the job when Shawn didn't want to do the job for him? I hate saying doing the job, but
do the favors.
Or was that wrong of the company to do what they did to get the belt? But he wasn't going to drop it. They wanted it. It was their belt. I mean, you don't really, just because you get the belt don't mean you own it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I see both sides.
Let me ask you this.
I see both sides. I see the company. It was a screw job, but it was a brilliant move if you guys not complying with what you want. Did I use the word comply?
Yeah.
I can't spell that either.
All right, well.
But they.
We'll have to do spelling lessons on the next episode.
Yeah, we're going to have to. We'll get the Sheik to do it for us. But they. Yeah, I don't know who's wrong in that. I mean, it's a little bit of each, but I thought it was smart on the company part. Okay.
I do too, but I'm going to ask you. Let's say you're the WWF World Champion. Let's say you have a 20-year contract, and they say, we can't afford you anymore. Go look and see if you can get money somewhere else. You go and get money somewhere else. You're still the world champion.
Did do that, but just not the same amount.
Well,
I went to Vince I think it was in November, maybe October or November, somewhere in there. Maybe November, because I think it was only 6 weeks before I was supposed to go to WCW. And I asked Vince, I said, I mean, what can I do? Because at that point, Al and I wasn't making that much. We were making less than what the Rockers made. Which, I mean,
the business was in the toilet.
Well, I think our best year as the Rockers was $250,000. And it went down and up, over the 2 or 4. How long were we?
Was that your biggest year in WWF?
Yeah.
About 250?
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been 400. And that was lower in money, and they were saying, Johnny was saying you'll make a lot more.
Oh, when you were going to do the 2005 return. Yeah. Okay.
And
that would have been great.
Huh?
That would have been great.
Oh, you know what was in the plans? When you remember Shawn and I did a reunion.
Yeah.
I mean, since this could never happen now, I mean, it could, but now that I'm telling it, it would mess it up. But it was going to be, Shawn and I. Remember I went out to the ring and saved him with the Spirit Squad, and. The Kiss My Ass Club didn't go so well. Remember Shawn come running out to make the save. And we were going to go into WrestleMania, me and Shawn against the McMahons. Shane and...
It was going to be a tag match?
Yes.
Really?
And then at the end, I was going to turn on Shawn and become a company boy. That was the long-term plans that we...
That would have been good.
It would have been great. Man, because y'all ain't seen me work heel yet. You got a taste of it in CWA or whatever that was that Jerry Jarrett owned in Tennessee. We got to be heels for a little while. Worked with the Rock and Roll Express for the first time ever.
Wow, those must have been some interesting
But
matches,
the interviews were so fun. You can just say anything. You can be mean as hell. If you got a little anger, and sometimes there's a baby face, you ain't feeling too good, or you had a bad day, a real bad day, and you got to go out and you got to be a baby face. When you really gotta go fuck yourself, get your ass out of my face. But and it's just so fun. It's so working heel's so easy. You just bump around. I love bumping around. I'm paying for it now, but
literally.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you though, Marty. Again, I got the signal from Glantz all the way in Glantzville. We're running a little short on time. What would you have done in this position?
Too much?
No, it's just this episode's going a little long, that's all.
You've changed, bro.
Because the great fans, I'm sure, are super chatting away with us. They're hitting that gray button, they're thumbs upping, they're subscribing, they're joining the Patreon, they're getting great Christmas gifts on our eBay store. They want to help keep wrestling legends like you working so we can do this. And Forget about every week. Let's do it every day.
You got no shame, dude.
You'll be like the Anderson Cooper of professional
Oh,
wrestling.
God, don't put me on that.
All right, you'll be the well, I don't know if you want to be the Bill O'Reilly of professional wrestling. Those already
because
exist.
he's too rough around the edges, yeah.
But anyway,
I'll go with Hannity.
What would you have done? Oh, you'll be the Hannity of professional wrestling. What would you have done in those shoes?
Whose shoes?
Would you have dropped the belt easily, even to someone that was being an unprofessional ass?
If I was Bret,
yeah.
If I was in Bret's place, if it was me, to be honest, I probably just dropped it. I mean, because you
even if it was someone that refused to put you over.
Yeah, I mean, that's happened before. I mean, that's the nature of the beast, I'm not. I love Bret to death. I'm not blaming him for what he did because, a lot of people don't know they were when they had WrestleMania, the Iron Man match. I think it was 12.
12, yeah,
out in L.A.
Yep.
I call it. I thought how to get the name to WrestleManias, like they do the monthly shows. I was saying that, man, you ought to call this one the Ego Express. I love Bret, but it was Bret who's got a pretty big ego, and Sean's got a pretty big ego. And we was doing the Hall of Fame thing the night before, like Saturday night.
No, the Slammies was the night before.
Slammies
in '96, yeah. Because we were up at Champs Arena here down in the.
No, this was a Hall of Fame induction because Jimmy Snuka got inducted that night.
No, that was before Survivor Series '96 in New York.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I swear to God on the kids' lives.
This one.
All right.
This one I know for sure.
No, wait. You think I'm wrong?
Yes, I know that's crazy, but
I bet you $1.
Why would they do the Hall of Fame before Survivor Series?
Because before they did it, before Survivor Series that year, they also did it before King of the Rings.
What, Hall of Fame?
Yeah. The Hall of Fame didn't become the night before WrestleMania tradition until WrestleMania 20.
Me and Al Snow were sitting together at a table, and we were marveling at, what's his name, Snuka getting his Hall of Fame because...
It must have been a hell of a speech.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. And it started out because, Jimmy was kind of rough on the interviews. If we didn't skip past something, but I guess we can catch it next show.
All right.
Jimmy comes up there, and he gets 20, is that seconds or minutes?
Seconds at this point.
Oh, is it for real? Okay, so I heard, so Jimmy went up to get his Hall of Fame thing, and they had showed a video of him flying off the top ropes, jumped off the cage, remember that splash over the famous splash in Madison Square Garden, and all these great looking things, and everybody stood and cheered when Jimmy come up to get his award, and he gets the like the plaque, I think it was, and he's like, brothers. That's how he just starts it out. This don't mean nothing. And as soon as that first come out, we're like, he goes, except for but Vince McMahon Sr. He was just he was rough on his interview. He says this don't mean nothing except for Vince. He was trying to get the praise or the thanks or whatever to Sr.
He just said it a little wrong.
Yeah, and then he looks at Vince. He goes, and everybody was cheering and shit. And he goes, you hear that, Vince? Vince is sitting right here. He goes, I want you to know that what y'all saw up there can happen again. And he goes, we'll talk later, Vince. And everybody popped on that one. Everybody cheered pretty good for that one. But no, that was the Hall of Fame. It was the day before WrestleMania.
It was the night before Survivor Series '96 at MSG.
How much you want to bet on this one?
I bet you $1 next time you're in. Or I bet you dinner. How about that?
All right, we'll do that.
All right. I'd shake your hand, but we'll do the...
Well...
All right, so you fans heard it. We got a free meal on the line.
Me, I do. So I know for sure.
Because I'm hungry, baby. I'm hungry.
We're going to Kowloon's?
It's potential. Potential. I know Andy Wong would know the answer to the question, the wrestling historian that he is. All right, so we're running out of time on this episode, folks. Oh, wait, he's got more?
Yeah, we went to Fridays. That wasn't very yielding with the women.
Well, John Candy had her eye on you.
I know she's large.
All right. All right, wrestling fans, for the future WWE Hall of Famer, the night before a future WrestleMania, Marty Jannetty, I'm Dan Marotti. We'll see you next Thursday night on Wrestling Insiders, 9 o'clock. Keep chatting on the Super Chat. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Stay healthy and
can they do that?
well.
Can they keep chatting with us after the show?
Not for very long.
Like, what, 30 seconds?
Maybe we'll add some music or something to the video and they can keep chatting.
I guess.
All right, we'll try that.
I was going to try it last time, but it vanished.
Well, Marty's going to try and chime in from home on these episodes, too. It should be very interesting. All right, folks, we'll see you next time. Good night.
Wrestling fans, can you feel it? The 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive Cyber Fan Fest explodes into December. We can't bring you a live wrestling event in 2020, but we're bringing you a plethora of live interviews and virtual autograph signings to continue our tradition of updating Santa's GPS to find every kid's home. This Friday night, December the 11th, we're joined by the massive Warlord in studio. This Saturday, December the 12th, Native American Tatanka joins us for the toy drive for the very first time. Then this Sunday, December the 13th, it's a doubleheader of Future Star Superstars is the new Impact Wrestling World Champion Rich Swann joins us for the first time in studio in 8 years, along with up-and-comer Wheeler Yuta, who recently competed in the Ring of Honor Pure Title Tournament, along with competing here in Boston Wrestling MWF. John Cena Sr. will also have a live episode and is working the phone lines on the North Pole to try and make this year's drive even bigger. Individual autographs and an all-inclusive VIP package is available online now. If you order your signed photos before or during the live appearances, the superstars will sign them on the air and then mailed directly to your home. If you want a VIP package but you missed some of the superstars' live appearances, don't worry. They've signed enough photos and posters for us to ship to you by December the 19th. If that wasn't enough, we're working on items for our annual mega raffle where one lucky fan will walk away with a huge jackpot of prizes, all to benefit the toy drive and honor the memory of the late, great Paul Bearer, who helped myself and John Cena Sr. start this endeavor in 2012. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com to get your orders in now. Let's create smiles in 2020.